A curse is an expressed wish, and it forms some type of adversary or misfortune that will befall or attach to one or more persons, a place, or an object. In particular, the word curse may refer to such a wish or pronouncement made effective by a supernatural or super spiritual power, such as a god or gods, a spirit, or a natural force, or else kind as a spell by magic or witchcraft. In the latter sense, a curse can be called a hex or a jinx. In many belief systems, the curse itself or a company ritual is considered to have some causative force in the result. So if one wanted to eliminate or reverse a curse, it is sometimes called removal or breaking, as a spell has to be dispelled is often required in elaborate rituals and prayers. However, when it comes to the Moesha show, and due to my investigative digging, this curse was intentional and it was meant to carry out its promise. And it is believed that a cast member also believed in this curse. One might ask themselves, how would this person just come up all of a sudden and think that this is a curse, even though all of these deaths from the Moesha show were no coincidences? See, these stars in Hollywood have to go through rituals and make pledges and sometimes even blood sacrifices. And let's not make it a secret, we all know that they're dibbling and dabbling around magic. They are working with some heavy, strong, and undefeatable spirits. See guys, we're gonna go deep down the rabbit hole real quick. Have you ever heard that certain characters that are played in movies rub off on the actual person playing the character? And in my opinion, these characters have names and they have certain attitudes and actions in the shows or movies they're presented in. Have you guys ever wondered how these characters are actually created? See, what we all must understand is that any character that is being played in Hollywood is an actual spirit and they actually live. And the person playing that character becomes that character. Now, one might ask themselves, how can you just turn into a whole nother person? Because these characters that in Hollywood that are being played by these actors and actresses are definitely living spirits. See, these living spirits are conjured up by the producer and other writers and storytellers behind the scene. And once the spirit is attached to the actor or actress, they become a living being inside of their bodies. And once they've opened up that portal, even when the actor or actress are not on stage or on television doing a show, that character stays with them, even when they're off set. And so by them accepting that character and the character has went into their body, that particular character can come out at any given time and anywhere. And therefore, the actors or actresses playing that character are controlled by that spirit. And have you guys ever thought about this? The actual characters and their names being played by these actors and actresses have their own history. And they passed away from some kind of accident, illness, or murder, etc. And so the actors and actresses that are attaching themselves to these spirits, and they just call them characters, which they're characters, but they're really spirits, guys. So Hollywood is trying to fool us. Anyway, that these particular characters or spirits themselves died in an actual way that the actual person that are playing them will have meet their death, their demise. For instance, guys, most of you should be familiar with the actor Michael Wright. Michael Wright is a very talented young man, and he played a role on The 5 Heartbeats. And we all see the character that he played. And it seems like that character that he played has not left his body because it has interrupted his own natural life. And now that character that Michael Wright was playing on The 5 Heartbeats is still with him today. And that character has been torturing his mind, his spirit, and his life. Just look it up, guys. Michael Wright. And I was just using that as an example, because this should furtherly more show you guys how it is true that these characters are spirits and they're just called characters, attaches to the actor or actress and comes into their real personal lives, and they become the actor. They have taken over that person's actual body. Brandy Norwood, who played the main character Moesha, she was also involved in this curse because she was involved in a car accident back in December of 2006. And that accident didn't kill Moesha, it actually killed a 38-year-old mother of two. See, the driver had accidentally struck the car in front of her, and this ultimately caused Brandy to collide with her car. And seemingly, these deaths were rolling really rapid in the Moesha show. Characters were dying left and right, however, we'll get into that in a minute. The thing I wanted to point out to you guys is that when Brandy was involved in that car accident, she was supposed to have been the 5th intended victim of the Moesha curse. However, it did not go down that way on this particular day. She was allegedly supposed to have met her demise as well. But however, she defeated that, and maybe the curse has been broken, because since then, the mom, the dad, and Kim, and the little boy, the little brother, he's still alive. So maybe the curse was supposed to have took Brandy out, and she defeated the curse by swerving and accidentally killing someone else. The fact is that there was a soul taken, but it was supposed to have been Brandy's, and then the curse would have continued to eat away everybody else. So have you guys noticed after that accident with Brandy Norwood, aka Moesha, the curse apparently stopped? Or has it? So Yvette Wilson was the 5th person that had a reoccurring role on the Moesha show. And see guys, the strange part isn't that they all died, but they died way before their time. And none of them made it past their 51st birthdays. And even for me, digging and reading about this and investigating this, it appears to be more than a little bit of coincidence. And I'm in no way a superstitious person. So let's take a closer look at the deaths and who died and how they occurred, and you can come up with your own conclusions. Marlon Santana. He was the first member of the Moesha cast curse to die. He was shot 6 times in South Los Angeles. A girl by the name of Monique King told her boyfriend Damon Andre Gates, and he was just 21 years old at the time, that Santana supposedly raped her. So this boyfriend and his friend found Santana and one of his other friends sitting in a vehicle, and they came in and they shot him and they killed him. He was murdered. And that car was shot up 6 times. And those 6 shots that were fired, the bullet traveled from the rear of the car and then the headrest and then into Santana's head, and it killed him instantly. And it was later discovered that this girl, Monique King, was lying about the whole situation. The second person played the role Hakeem Campbell. Bentley, another young talent, he was killed in a car accident. And once again, guys, he played that role and that spirit's name, Hakeem. And on the show, he was Moesha's next door neighbor, and he was always bumming food and bumming a ride to go to school, and he just ate them out of house and home. And like I stated, guys, he was not only involved in a car accident, but the car accident was very suspicious. Because on January 19th of 2005, Bentley was driving in the early morning on the Highway 118 in Semi Valley at a high rate of speed. He was driving his Mercedes-Benz, and his Benz was seen running through a stop sign and breaking through a chain of link of a fence and going down an embankment, and it ejected him out of the vehicle. Not only that, guys, he was struck by 5 cars, and authorities were not able to get to him in time. And check this out, guys. The initial test showed no drugs or alcohol in his system. The third person to die from the Moesha show was Bernie Mac, and he played Uncle Bernie. And he died at 50 years old. And before the Bernie Mac show, he played Uncle Bernie for 11 episodes. And see, his illness took everyone by surprise. He seemed to be in good health and in good spirits. And in August of 2008, he was admitted to a hospital in Chicago. He was treated for a week and unsuccessfully, and he died August 9th from sarcoidosis, which was complicated by pneumonia. And sarcoidosis is an autoimmune disease that causes tissue in your body to swell, and this often affects your lungs, but any organ can be actually affected by the illness. See, the illness occurs gradually, and it can be autosymptomatic or chronic, and only 10% of people who develop a serious disability, and fewer than that, die from it. And after that, Yvette Wilson, she played the role Adele. She died from cervical cancer in 2012. And at that time, she was the most recent victim of the curse. She beat the cancer and it came back. And when it came back, it was very aggressive. And she automatically went into stage 4. Then she discovered she also needed 2 kidney transplants. And eventually, she was overcome by that illness and she passed away from it. And after that, the 5th victim was supposed to have been Brandy Norwood, aka the star of the show, Moesha. So in my opinion, guys, I think that 4 people within 10 years is enough without adding any embellishment into the mix. So if I wasn't convinced, and then I am convinced now, that the curse or coincidence, you have to admit, this is a little on the scary side, guys. So let me know what you think. Drop it down in the comment section. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until the next video, guys.